How you doing, YouTube? This is Stash, back with part 2 of my rant on the Stasi. The Stasi, capital M, small f, capital S. The Ministry for State Security, better known as the Stasi. Okay, so I was talking about Marcus Wolf, and I was talking about the great successes of the Stasi and society under the Stasi, a complete surveillance state, probably one of the most repressive known to mankind. And then I got to rambling how much the United States is like willingly become a Stasi country. Is it wrong to say that? What do you think? It's a witch hunt. It's a class war, an elitist, the deplorables versus the creative class, the toothless, what can I say, the Rust Belt people with the tattoos and the vaping versus the beautiful people. So that's where I went to in part 1. I ramble on too damn long on these, damn it. But now, we go back to the Stasi. Society under the Stasi, the prisons were full of people who were seen as enemies of the state. Ultimately, an absolute 1984 Orwellian world of the greatest nightmares. But there was also money involved because of the way the system was, the communistic socialist system was. They fell behind the capitalist world in technology, and so smuggling became an issue and a big money-making issue that brought up the fact that people would want to make money by stealing high technology and bringing it into the East, back to East Germany. One guy who's a favorite of mine, Richard Megabucks Müller, Müller. There's an awesome book that goes way back from an author named J. Tuck called High Tech Espionage, where he goes into I think he was actually a German expatriate, or lived in Germany, or he's from Brooklyn or something, and he moved to Germany. Great author, great book going way back. Hats off to J. Tuck. And he talked about Monitor Müller in his awesome book. I got some notes on it. His sources are the Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung. I'm not saying that right. How could I mispronounce that? You know what I'm talking about. German newspapers. So, and the guy became. There's not much on him. Why I'm bringing him up is they never caught him, for one thing. Okay, and this guy was, they've got to make a movie about Müller. Let me play one of the guys. I am an actor. So he smuggled the embargoed stuff, and they never caught him. It was like a labyrinth of postal box phony companies. He bought this shop, and in the front was like musical instruments, in the back was all the high-tech stuff he needed. It was in total violation of the COCOM. So that made this stuff all the more valuable than drugs, right? Müller. I gotta reblog on this because I'm screwing this up, but this is fascinating. So he hired a guy to be his driver. It was like he got extremely rich. He had like mansions, but then he had to go on the run, and you know, they could never catch him. There was a customs agent named Dr. Theodore Wu, and he was aggressive. And I think some agents one time they filled the containers with sand, and they were like "F you," you know. They were aggressive, and there was also a guy I think came before him or roughly the same time, Werner Bruchhausen and his crew were cleaning up on selling embargoed technology to the Soviets and to the East Germans. Richard Megabucks Müller, they never caught him. Anybody who knows anything more about this, blog me if you can. Or if you know they caught Müller, because I don't think they ever caught him, which is amazing, because the guy was making millions. And he was from an area that became part of the German Reich, but then it was later Czechoslovakia. He was later on had a company, I believe, in Hamburg. His sidekick was Volker Nast, who I think might have got caught. Volker, if you are alive, come on, respond to my YouTube. I'm gonna have to do more on Müller. I can't believe I'm messing this up. I am not even giving this story justice. But they do tricks like just buy it, and they buy the stuff in West Germany and ship it to West Germany and then just take it out after that. But they looted everything. The Soviets did stuff sometimes like just buy a IBM computer, of course, reverse engineer it. And you know, just go to trade shows, and you know, capitalist systems always kind of, you know, they want to sell the stuff. So customs official Dr. Wu, if you're still alive, come on, give me a ring. Also, the man without a face, Müller. No, not Müller. Marcus Wolf. Definitely kicked ass, but the West had some considerable victories against him as well. For instance, a man with the East German intelligence, Werner Stiller, Mr. Stiller. God rest his soul. In trying to check on this, I realized that he has passed away. What a character. He had a girlfriend, Helga. The scene must have been incredible. At some point, he was like, I would like to go to the West. Call me crazy, Helga. He started a love affair with the woman also, you know, obviously in the East, and this story is featured, I think, best in a book called Seduced by Secrets. I'll leave the name of that book in the liner notes. Yeah, I'm really drifting. I'm ruining this blog. No, keep blogging. So, now the thing was, he gave them everything, and but they didn't get Müller. They got a lot of information though, and it was huge. I think came from this that also they obtained the first photograph of Wolf. So the West scored, and they did a lot of damage with Werner Stiller. God bless his soul. I guess he is an enemy of the state, but he has passed away. He was above all a lover. I guess he was reverse Romeo, because he found a woman, and they defected to the West, but he gave up everybody. I'm gonna be doing part 3 of the Stasi, just as if you didn't have enough. It was interesting. It was more interesting when I was reading it. All right, no, the Stiller memorandum. He wrote a book about it. Actually, he again he took down a lot of the work that Wolf had done, and so the West scored in that one. It was quite an awesome coup. He ended up working for Goldman Sachs, must have been, and making a lot of money. And then he came under criticism here and there. He also was such a ladies' man. I think he got into some trouble with that. He kept falling in love. Even at the time when they were trying to work with him, recruit him, he was very in love. He was a lover and a spy. He was heavy on the espionage. All right, so I'm really drifting, but I hope you enjoyed this. I'll leave the sources in the liner notes. I will be doing part 3 of the Stasi. I'm going to follow up more on Megabucks Müller, just what you wanted. And also more on Stiller and and on to some of my favorite criminals and spies, especially out of Vienna, and why Udo Proch is my favorite spy. That will be all in part 3 of my series on the Stasi and espionage. Alright. Have a good night. Happy Thanksgiving.